Hello and welcome to our show today. I'm really glad you could join us today. Look, we're really talking about how to catapult your conversation and really how you can grow your business faster. We're talking about hyper growth strategies that can help you grow your business responsibly, but also probably way faster than what you're growing right now. With us today is Michelle Fernandez. Now, she is the lead ad strategist and launch manager for Foot Traffic Formula, which is one of the top coaching programs for small business owners, helping them get more customers in the door, more profit in their pocket, and more happiness in their home. She's an expert in branding and a vital force behind the continued growth and scale of Foot Traffic Formula. Now, Michelle enjoys the strategizing process that takes place prior to running ads and is a master at getting crystal clear on brand identity, messaging, and funnel strategy, ensuring maximum ROI for ad spend. Now, she understands how to combine the most powerful organic ad and funnel strategies to create a successful launch and scaling business. Michelle, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to have this conversation today.
Yeah, I am too, because we all want to grow and we all want to grow faster.
Yes.
So what are some of the strategies you're seeing right now in paid and organic when it comes to like overall growth or social growth strategies, I should say, with paid and organic?
Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of people that were advertising in Facebook got a little bit scared with all these iOS updates, but I will tell you, I was just actually reviewing one of my clients' stuff today, and it was amazing the results that they're getting. So just when you think like maybe this is not for me, it's like stay in the game and really hone in on your targeting, because your targeting and your messaging is what's going to get you those highly qualified prospects. And I think what's happening a lot of the times is we see that, okay, I'm not growing, this is not working for me, but it's like circling back to make sure you have the right people, that you're talking to the right people. They're in the right seat, I guess, in your launch campaign when you're doing these things. And I think that's a lot of misconception that people have, that the ads are not working. So where do we go? So I say stick to Facebook ads organically. It's like once you get these people into your ecosystem and into your world, it's like, how are you going to now build that credibility and build that authority and show them that you are the person that is able to solve their problem so they can decide to go on their journey with you as their guide.
So what are some of the ways that you're seeing are the most effective to establish yourself in that guide in the story?
I always think video is king. Like that is the one of the fastest ways to make that connection. And a lot of people are either a little hesitant on video or they think they're going to turn some people away, and that's okay, because you want the people who resonate with you. And with video, it makes a really just such a deeper connection and starts that relationship. So then it turns into that conversation, right? To book those calls and things like that. So video is always the way to go.
So you talk about one of the things you do is really get hyper focused on who you're targeting. So what are some ways some business owners can effectively do that to really find out who exactly to tailor their message to so they can really get a proper avatar to know who to market to?
So I look at this kind of two sides, where you can go broad and go a little bit more narrow with your messaging, or just go super niched on your audience. So it all depends on who it is you're targeting, but it all comes down to whatever research you can do. So research, do it especially up front, and do it often. So when you get a new group of customers, talk to them. If you have like a launch or some freebie thing, ask questions on your social media. Always try to find out certain answers where you know that, or certain questions that you can dig in to finding out where to find these people on social, or what words are they using to describe a certain pain or struggle or a dream or desire. So when you're crafting your messaging, then you're able to really get them in with that targeting, like, oh, this is exactly what I'm going through, or, oh my gosh, they're talking to me. That's your ultimate goal with your messaging to get in front. And if you have your targeting right, even if you're a little broad and not so niche, your messaging will grab their attention and be more qualified for them.
What platforms do you like in the best right now for running ads?
Facebook is one of my favorites. YouTube, I really think that's working out very well. What I'm finding with certain people is they're not quite ready for YouTube because they don't have like the storyboard thing going for them to map out. However, you could probably watch a few YouTube advertising videos and get kind of the gist of it, like the flow, and be able to create something similar for yourself where you don't necessarily need to be so high production and spend that money. And for some of the clients, depending on what you're offering, Pinterest is also a pretty good way to go for lower costs, and you're getting a lot of people on your list and building and qualifying that way.
When on the organic side on social, what kind of general strategy do you think is working the best right now? I know you mentioned video. So is it video education, establishing yourself as an expert? Is it, information? Is it video that's really talking about what you do and speaking directly to the audience? Like what kind of things are you seeing be successful on organic social media posting?
I would say a combination of that. Because it all depends. And I always say test, right? So it's really, it's a combination of like, how do you say it? Like into entertainment, but it's like education. So edutain, I think that's the word I'm looking for, where it's like you're being entertaining, where you're drawing people into your personality, but you're also providing this value or educating them, right? And then what works beautifully with that is retargeting them with your other conversion campaigns, right? But organically, it would be like them in your Facebook group, get them to sign up for something that maybe you're doing a special training or something for them. It's all about leading them into something else that may be free for them to continue on their journey with you until they're ready to invest with you.
Interesting. What about funnel building? What are some of the essential pieces that you've seen to really build a sales funnel that converts right now?
Headline is key. It's no matter if you're doing organic or paid, you want to make sure that message continues over, and it's very congruent from one to the other. You don't want them to land on that landing page and be like, wait, am I in the right place? Or, oh, I thought it was this, but what I'm reading is something else. So the headline is clear, it has to be clear of what you're offering and who it's for. So when someone gets there, they know that they're in the right place, right? And definitely speak to them. So it could be something specifically, like even if we're talking about entrepreneurs, like 3 secrets every entrepreneur needs to know. So then I know I'm an entrepreneur, I'm in the right place. And it's creating just enough curiosity that it's not like, oh, I already know this, everybody talks about it, right? It's like, oh no, or what are the mistakes? That's why you always see those mistakes, because it's like nobody wants to make a mistake. And then also like touch base a little bit on either a dream that they want, a desire that they want, or eliminate an objection. So whatever their pain or struggle. So without this, like without the tech, or even if you've never done video, I'm going to teach you how, that type of thing. I think that's really crucial to get people to sign up. And of course, the button above the fold, that really needs to be there. I see a lot of time where people on the desktop, it looks beautiful, but on mobile, it's not optimized for mobile. So it's kind of like you get there and it's not really telling you what to do. So then people just leave and you miss out on all these opportunities of possibly getting a lead because your page is not formatted or designed properly.
What about emails? When you've got emails in a funnel, what are some things that you're doing for clients to help them optimize that?
We're constantly tracking. So we're looking to see, is our open rate, as sad to say, like standard is 25%. So how are we at least getting there or higher? What are we providing in the email, whether it be GIFs, we're embedding certain videos in there, like the subject lines, we're constantly testing those out and seeing what can we do to improve that open rate. And then the next thing we're looking is the click-through rate. So where are we sending them on here, and are they taking the action that we want them to take? So we're constantly looking at that and tweaking those few things just to make it more fun, and not just sell. It's literally like, oh my gosh, I need to open this email because this is something that I'm going to need to run my business better.
How do you jump from there to conversion? Because you talked about the funnel, we've talked about delivering value and becoming the authority, and but how do you then get to a point to start getting these leads from a point where you built that goodwill to actually start converting?
Mm-hmm. One of the things that we've been trying here at Foot Traffic is we do a lot of live events. So we do a 5-day challenge. We're doing live webinars, so no automated webinars anymore, because the availability of you being able to ask questions live, where you're actually like obtainable. I don't know if that makes sense. Where you can answer, then they feel like, oh, she knows what she's talking about. She can help me out. Right. But on the other side, you have to be careful not to give too much away, because then they may not want to join. They may want to feel like, oh, I have everything I need. I don't need to buy your thing because you've given me plenty. So like, being careful not to cross that fine line. But I really think the live experience makes a huge difference in your conversion. Also, if you have a sales team or an enrollment team, where if they want a one-on-one call, that's available to them so they can get the questions answered. Because let's face it, a lot of the objections, like the top three, is like time, money, and can I do this? And some people don't want to say they don't have the money, and some people don't want to say that they don't believe in themselves in front of everybody else in the group. So offering that one-on-one connection with some sort of a coach or an enrollment team member really makes the difference, and them feeling comfortable and confident that they're making this investment in themselves and with you in their program.
What do you think online events, you mentioned challenges, what's the most effective type of online event that you've seen work right now?
The challenges as well as the webinars. Those are the two top ones that I see right now. Again, especially the live webinars. Those are the top ones that I see more than the others. And even I've seen some people go from a 5-day challenge to a 3-day challenge and still being just as effective, for depending on their audience and do they have the time, because some of the audiences, maybe depending on the industry, they're only like available like on a Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, right? So they wouldn't show up the other days anyway, just because that's the nature of the industry, and it's just as effective.
So with challenges, what kind of challenges have you done recently?
We do once a month. We have a challenge where it's 5 days and we're talking about driving traffic to your business, right? So we give them a combination of this organic as well as paid traffic, what it needs to really be for you to really scale. If you're wanting to get to 6 figures, or you're 6 figures and wanting to get to 7, it's like you do need to do the combination and really shift more to paid traffic to get there. So it's all about sharing with them these different strategies to get from point A to point Z.
So is your challenge the same every month, or is it a different theme every month?
It is the same, and we do update it as what's working now. So maybe there was a strategy that didn't work before, like Clubhouse, right? Clubhouse was the thing. And then all of a sudden, like, nobody's talking about Clubhouse anymore. So we took that out, but we didn't have it before it came in. So those are things that we're staying in the know. We have workbooks for each challenge. And it's not these workbooks that are blank. It's like workbooks that are filled in. So you can really be paying attention, refer back to your notes or add to it. Like when you get a thought like, oh my gosh, this would be great for my business or my team or whatever, you can add that right there in your workbook. So it's actually giving them something tangible to walk away with as well.
So how do you get people to a challenge? Because I imagine if you're doing a similar challenge with updated information, you can't keep hitting your database with the exact same challenge every single month. So are you only running the challenge to then paid traffic?
Yes. Yes, we do still do organic, because we're also doing other efforts where we're constantly bringing in a steady flow of new leads into our ecosystem. So whether that be just the social team reaching out and getting new followers organically, maybe through other platforms like LinkedIn, Pinterest, we're in all the places, YouTube, and we're getting them in there. So we have sort of organic flow, and then we are doing things or with paid traffic to get new cold people into our funnel.
You challenges on Facebook, use Facebook group?
Yes, Facebook group. Mm-hmm. And we were doing pop-ups, and we have like one free community. And so what we're going to do this round is to revive our free community. We're going to be doing the challenge live in there. So it's to revive the 5,000 or 6,000 people that are in there right now to possibly convert, as well as bring new life into the Facebook group.
Interesting. And I ask so many questions so everybody knows. First of all, I
Yeah.
have somebody at my front door. Which is why my German Shepherd's doing what German Shepherds are supposed to
Yeah,
do, which
no
is protect
worries.
me. So if you hear that in the background, that's what she's doing. But I ask questions about challenges because we're killing it with challenges, like
Mhm.
crushing it with challenges. But I never thought about doing one every month. So I want everybody to know that's the reason I ask about it. I think challenges are really effective. You should look into challenges. You should look into more to what Michelle is doing, because this is a huge, really successful way to be able to drive a lot of business. What about ad spend? What are are some things you're finding that are working well to reduce the amount of money that you spend to get a lead in a place like Facebook?
Yes. So constantly checking targeting, trying new audiences, checking our messages, our creative. We started this last month where we're not even using our brand colors anymore. We're just trying to do things that like stand out on the feed, like stop the scroll and really getting things in. We're trying new types of videos because, like I said, I always test at least a graphic or a GIF and a video. So we're trying to see like what messaging are we going to be able to bring in people from different points, because what may resonate with one person may not resonate with the other. So what kind of like little headlines or little things are we saying in the videos or that we have on the things to bring the people in, constantly just testing all that out.
Possible to do a 6-figure in income launch without a 6-figure ad spend?
Oh, totally. I've done it with I think we had a 5,000 ad spend and we had a multiple 6-figure launch. So there are ways to do it. Absolutely.
So what are you finding are some of the best ways to be able to have a successful launch?
I really believe that having a system, you talked about maybe not doing it every month. And some people might say, what? I'm going to be launching every month. That's like crazy town. Are you nuts, Ty? Well, you can if you have a system in place, because there is a lot, and a lot of it is rinse and repeat. And what I love about this is we've created this tremendous system. It's like everybody knows what they're going to do. And I just go in every month and I'm like, okay, it's that time of month again. You got to do your things. And the other thing that I do is after every launch, we do a debrief. So we go through what worked, what didn't, what might we do next time. And then I make the notes. And then when I go to maybe tweak some of the emails, or I look at all those open rates and then I say, okay, how can we change this? What can we little things to do to that? So it's not so overwhelming every single time that you run a campaign. So, I mean, run a launch. So that's just something to think about is systems and processes, having all your emails in a Google Drive folder. It's like everything is all together. So one person, or if that person is out sick or on vacation, they can go in there and grab it all and then you're good to go.
How do you craft offers that you know will convert? You're going through all this effort to be able to get leads in the funnel and be able to get them warmed up. Like, what do you do then to craft a good offer, whether it be through a challenge or another means, to be able to actually get that lead to convert to a sale?
Right. It's all about the research. So we do this often and we take advantage of these monthly challenges. So when we have these monthly challenges, whether it be in the free group or a pop-up group, or even if we have another event of some sort, we create a sequence of or a series of posts inside the group. So the posts aren't just like, welcome, hello. It's like literally asking questions, creating polls, having them respond to specific questions to see what they're needing, where are they struggling, what do they want to achieve. And then from there, we're able to say, what do you think about XYZ? And we put it together and we just make an offer. And luckily they have been converting because we're listening to what they want and we're delivering what they're asking for, basically.
Well, how important is that? Crafting this content that actually helps convert?
Super.
Because I think a lot of people don't do that, Michelle. I think a lot of people get caught up in the delivering of value and they even forget to ask people to do stuff. Like the call to action seems to be missing nowadays.
Yes, absolutely. And it's funny that you say that because I had a client that he was doing these webinars and we were driving all this traffic to the webinar and he's like, how come I'm not making any sales? So I said, let me go in there. He forgot to put the button to buy because we have so much to do that sometimes we forget these things. So it's almost like with this process that you're creating, you want to make sure that you have these things. And just because you're stating this post, you have to remind yourself at all times, like, how can I leave this open for a response, right? How can I leave it open-ended or open loop, whatever you want to call it, where someone can comment back in? Because we talked about like starting these great conversations. And from when I started in this business, one of the things is that my goal was to get them from the post to Messenger to a call, right? How am I opening the conversation or beginning that conversation to eventually take it to a phone call? So you always just want to think like, if I'm having a conversation with you right now, I'm not just going to say something and walk away. I'm going to say something to lead for you to respond to me. So you'd always just need to think about your social posts just like that, because that's what social media is to be social.
What are some other ways beyond that, actually asking or having, including a button to buy that you found that were successful right now with webinars to be able to get conversions?
Yeah. So definitely when I'm looking at the flow, there's so many webinar courses out there, right? Everybody has their own little method, but it all follows a certain flow. And one of the big things is including in a challenge is you want them to get to see and start saying those yeses from the beginning, to realize, like, don't you want this? What if this? Imagine that, right? Or aren't you finding this helpful? Or wouldn't this be cool if you had a system that showed you how to do this? Like, you're planting those little seeds throughout. So by the time you get to the pitch, whether it be on your webinar or in your challenge, it's like they are primed and ready to go. You've already busted every objection along the way. You shared some testimonials or case studies throughout, overcoming all these things. So it's like an easy yes, no brainer. Your offer has to be irresistible and you will close those sales so fast.
What are you finding and you mentioned this earlier with ads, what are you finding some of the tactics that you're using to become more visible, to stand out?
Mm-hmm. So one of the things I've been trying a few different things with brand awareness. So I definitely promote the podcast. We do video record all the podcasts. So I try a combination of videos that we do as well as audiograms. The videos, again, always win. So that does a couple of things. It shows brand awareness. It promotes the podcast. So it increase our downloads, it increase, the views and all that good stuff. And it as well as creates an audience, a warm audience that I can go back and retarget now all these video viewers that watched, 15 seconds, 25% of a video, that now when I go to target them for my challenge, the cost per lead is lower because Facebook is rewarding me for people who have already engaged with us somehow.
That's interesting. What are some other things you're seeing that are effective to increase social following? Are you doing things when you're running ads in these challenges to be able to increase subscribers, for example, in your other channels?
We do that. One of the things that we do organically is to get exposure on other people's platforms. So that is huge. And a lot of people don't want to do that because they're embarrassed to ask or think that they're going to say no. And a lot of times they say yes, right? So it's like, how can you get in front of either somebody or another audience that's complementary to yours, not competing, but complementary to yours, where you would have something of value to show their audience. Stacy has done this several times, and it's like the next day, our follower count is increased by like 4,000 people or something crazy cool like that. Right. And we're like, wait, what did we post? What happened? And then she's like, oh, wait a minute, that episode, or I went live with so-and-so on Instagram and this is what happened. So there's some times where you're like, okay, maybe my marketing budget's there, or maybe I haven't got that niche, I haven't like niched into Facebook enough, or I feel confident enough to do that. We'll look at not only your list, but look at who's around you, your network, and how can you use that to your benefit?
So how are you figuring out who to target and to approach about being on their platforms?
Yes. Okay. So we do have a PR person that is kind of looking at that. And one of the things that we do is we make a Dream 100 list. And these are all the people. It's like crazy cool. This is all the people I would love to be on their show or them on mine. And we have this system where it's kind of like we're engaging. We share some of their stuff. We want to be noticed without being like creepy stalking people, if that makes sense,
Sure.
And then we slowly approach them. This is, oh, I've listened to these few episodes. I really think that we can provide value in this way. So there's all kinds of ways you can do it. And I think you'd be surprised of how many people would say yes than say no, even the big names.
So when you're asking them, do you just approach them directly and say, hey, like, is there a way we can provide value to your audience?
Yes. Either via email. Sometimes I've seen some people do it through the DM, or they use the connections that they have oh, you're a friend of so-and-so and I work with him, and like making just a little connection where it almost opens the person to say like, oh, this is like, we're 6 degrees separation. Oh, so-and-so. So you're kind of validating yourself to show that as well. But yes, I mean, it's just easy as that. And the worst they can say is no, right? But you're on the radar, and who knows, maybe in a couple months, they'll be able to say yes.
That's interesting. Michelle, powerful. I mean, it's some really good tips today. Where can everybody go watching and listening to be able to get more information from you and learn more?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at the Michelle Fernandez, and or you can find us on at Foot Traffic.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate her.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thanks for
coming
having
on.
me.
I appreciate you joining.
Loved it. Thank you so much.
So listen, if you're watching this, we went through a lot in a very short period of time, and Michelle really gave you the rule book per se of what's working right now, everything from organic to paid ads, all the way to what you need to do in a funnel to get people to convert to challenges. That was awesome. She threw in challenges because there's so many nuggets of even how to make webinars more successful that she covered. But here's the thing, we like just scratch the surface. If you go to her website, she's got a podcast that's phenomenal, a blog that's phenomenal, amongst many other forms of assets and content that you can get here that can help you grow your business faster. So make sure you visit themichellefernandez.com. It's it's really the. When I say the, it sounds like it's B. So I always say
I know.
the, right? Michelle, like my email address has the word the in it. I've always started by saying the, people understand it. So go to even though I'm saying it wrong, themichellefernandez.com. That's themichellefernandez.com. Abundance of assets. Make sure you go there, check that out. And that way you can get what you need to be able to create hyper growth strategies in your business. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you visit the michellefernandez.com site to get a ton more information on how to grow and scale quickly. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.